Jesus said, "I am the light of the world." Jesus told his disciples, "You are the light of the world." I just want to think a bit about how we can shine with the light of Jesus, how we can keep that light shining within us, because it's only with his light that we can be the light of the world. We haven't got much light within us, but the light that comes from him makes a huge difference. We can shine with the light of Jesus. We've been thinking over the last 3 weeks from Pentecost. Ian's been leading us in thinking about the work of the Holy Spirit within us. The work of the Holy Spirit in us transforms us into the likeness of Jesus and puts that light within us so that it can shine out from us to bless others and be a blessing to the world. In the Tearfund talk, we heard about needs right across the world. We can make a difference for those needs, as we've been hearing. But there are also needs right on our doorstep. Our neighbours need light in a dark world. Jesus calls us the light of the world. So we're there to shine out, not to be hidden. So how can we do it? First, we have to remember that we are, if you like, lesser lights, secondary lights. Like the moon, the world has two great lights, the sun in the day, the moon at night. But the moon only shines because the sun is shining on it. We only shine because Jesus is shining on us, and better than the moon, shining from within us. So how can we make sure that we do shine with the light of Jesus? I was reading Mark chapter 3. Mark 3 verses 13 to 15. It's about Jesus calling the 12 disciples. And it doesn't actually mention light, but it talks about how he planned to turn his disciples into lights for him. This is what it says. Jesus went up on a mountainside and called to him those he wanted, and they came to him. It's worth pausing there just to remember, Jesus called to him those he wanted, and it wasn't just those 12. Jesus has called us, making us his disciples, because he wants us. He wants us to be his. He called them, and they came to him. He appointed 12 that they might be with him, and that he might send them out to preach and to have authority to drive out demons. Now there you see 3 priorities that Jesus has for his disciples. In a way, perhaps slightly different way, but in a true way, those priorities for the 12 are his priorities for all his disciples, for us. And the first one is to be with him. That must be our first priority, the first call on our time, on our attention, to be with him, looking to him, following him, and very carefully listening to him. Be with him. He is the source of our light. Without him, if we cut ourselves off, the light gets dimmer. And the closer we are to him, the brighter the light will shine. We can be with him through special time with him on a Sunday, every day, and through that special time with him. That helps us to be consciously, intentionally with him at all times. The second priority was that he might send them out to preach. Now you may say, I'm not a preacher. Well, perhaps you preach more than you realize in different ways. Your life, the things you do and the things you say, the two of them combined, both are essential. They preach. Whatever it is, whatever is coming from your heart comes out in your actions and your words. They preach. And if you are spending time intentionally, consistently being with Jesus, you preach more than you realize, and you are taking that message. Take the message consciously, deliberately. Preach, not in a preachy way, but preach. Let the Jesus who is in you shine out so that others can benefit and know him. And the third one maybe sounds even more high-powered or scarier than being sent out to preach: to have authority to drive out demons. This is about the authority of Jesus. When he sent the disciples out in what we call the Great Commission, after the resurrection, he said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me, therefore go. We go with his authority. He's delegated it to his disciples. And what about driving out demons? I've never driven out a demon. But when we shine our light, we are overcoming the demonic powers of darkness in this world. Again, it's not about us. We are not stronger than demons. We don't know how to drive out or overcome demons. Jesus does. When we shine with the light of Jesus, the powers of darkness are overcome. That's what it's about. You make more difference. Shine more light in this world than you realize. Those are the three priorities that Jesus has for us if we are his disciples: to be with him, to be sent out to preach, and to have authority to drive out demons. Now, if that sounds a bit heavy, let's put it another way. Jesus has three gifts for his disciples. And the first one is intimacy, being with him in a close, loving relationship with him. The second one is boldness, to go out. And the third is authority, his authority over the powers of darkness. These are gifts that Jesus has for his disciples. If you feel, I haven't got those things within me, that's not what it's about. They are gifts from Jesus. He gives us intimacy, boldness, and authority. And with those gifts, the disciples of Jesus are his gift to the world. Our world is very dark. Jesus has put us here to shine his light in dark places, and equipped with those gifts of intimacy, boldness, and authority, we can shine. In Philippians 2, verses 15 and 16, it says, "Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky, as you hold firmly to the word of life." Let us shine the light of Jesus into lives that are caught in darkness. Amen.